I was at Trump's military parade on Saturday, and that was right after the hours-long Army Festival on the National Mall, which bled into the parade. And I can tell you it was a very, very long and exhausting day and pretty miserable for attendees of the parade because it was so hot and humid and people had to wait in really long lines. Trump ordered the Pentagon to cobble together a massive military display for his birthday. And so, logistically, they made it happen. But there wasn't I will say that the effect of the way this played out was that Trump ended up making a lot of his supporters endure real misery throughout the day to make it to the parade. And if they bailed before they even walked in the parade, I wouldn't have blamed them, because Republican, Democrat, whatever, those kind of conditions leading up to an event you want to go to were not compatible. It was not an enjoyable experience at all. I was looking through a fence where I could see tanks and troops walking by, but it was about as silent as you could be at a parade, which was strange. It told me that the people at it were just either exhausted or just weren't feeling it. I mean, there was no cheering, there was no joy that I saw, there was no public celebration of what was happening in front of them. And I know that Trump was, meanwhile, he was comfortably sitting somewhere with VIPs in a stand. So he wasn't having to go through the same misery that a lot of the people who made it through to the parade had to endure just to get there. I saw no footage of President Trump looking happy at all during his parade. He looked slumped over and tired and kind of grouchy. And honestly, I don't know if he was absorbing the energy of everybody else there, but it would be absolutely reasonable for anybody who waited all day to try to get into this parade and then made it in to feel fairly miserable by the time they were there.
We're preparing for an enormous turnout. Hundreds of thousands of attendees.
At the same time as the military festival on the Mall and Trump's military parade, nationwide protests were happening in literally all 50 states. And I saw somewhere it was in like 2,000 towns and cities. Massive, massive protests nationwide with millions of people turning out. I can tell you the number of people who were on the National Mall was nowhere near a fraction of how many people were turning out at these protests nationwide. And they also didn't have nearly the level of energy and kind of vigor that was on display with all the protests. Was the parade a flop? It depends on the metrics you're using to define a flop. I mean, I think from the start, the idea of throwing a massive authoritarian style parade with at least $45 million in tax money to do it is it not necessarily a great idea. Did it turn into a massive celebration of America and Trump for his birthday? No, it didn't. So if that was the metric, yes, it was a flop.
If you don't like Trump as a president, you gotta like him as a troll. And over the weekend, that's exactly what Donald J. Trump did. He trolled all of the protesters for No King's Day. He posted, and I quote, "A huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job all." So even in the face of being protested against, the man still thanks you protesters, the people that dislike and hate him, for all of your hard work. And here's the funny thing. No King's Day is literally July 4th. Yes, the recent parade was around Trump's birthday. However, it was to mark the 250th anniversary of the Army, the military of the USA. So how can you protest against the people that have fought for the country to allow you to be able to protest? Make it make sense to me. What's your reaction?
So at the No Kings rally over the weekend, what was accomplished? I can't wait to hear. There was so many people there. Oh my God, y'all got something, right?
Yes, Trump is not a king.
Well, Trump was never a king. He's the president of America. In fact, he's still the president. Yeah. Yeah. What was accomplished? Oh, it's nonviolent.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it was probably also no violence before the rallies, right?
Right.
Right. So, did the ICE raid stop?
New.
No. Still gonna pick up illegal immigrants, huh?
Yup.
So, maybe it was a good vibe. I see a lot of people out there with free manicures.
Nope.
No. So just a bunch of loudmouths complaining about the president.
Yeah.
So it was like a Twitter meetup.
That part.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Okay, so it sounds like Trump is pissed. His punch back is coming faster than I think we had anticipated from the narcissistic wound we delivered on a silver platter to his parade. You know, he's had so many major narcissistic wounds in the last 2 weeks, and this one he'll never recover from. Never. And so now he's throwing out that he's going to go hard on those blue cities, blue states with the deportations. You know, yesterday before the parade, I'm sure he thought he was going to look merciful, but was like, oh, let's not go so hard on those communities. Let's stop the raids. And then no one showed up. And then we showed him that we don't want him. So, remember what I said? The first 100 days was about the words. He was going to write decrees, and everyone was just going to do what they said, follow what he said. That didn't happen. Well, when a bully runs out of words, they start using their body. So that's why we start seeing the National Guard and we start seeing the military. And so far we know that they don't really want to be involved with this. And the reason I think it comes from a narcissistic wound, and we're truly on the verge of a collapse, which could get wild, okay? But the polling for deportations is way underwater. That was the last one to drop. It's underwater. The left, independents, and Republicans, a lot of them do not like how these are going. And then you've got celebrities saying there's got to be a better way. And, all these protests and stuff. So he's doing that against that, right? He's doing it against polls that are continually falling. He's doing it against probably his billionaire friends going, you're costing us money. And the madder they get, the more problems they cause for our businesses, and it makes things unsteady. So we need you to back off some of these areas. So we started to, for 12 hours, 24 hours, and now he wants to come at us this way because he's a bully. So do we need to freak out? Nope, because we're prepared. Like, we know the kind of things he's going to throw at us. We know that the military doesn't want to be there. We know that the morale is low. I think that they're very embarrassed after that parade. It showed how they walked, and, the rest of the military saw that. I think they're telling each other this is not it, right? And maybe Trump is a nut job. So lots of that could be going on in the background. And I guess the thing is, our nervous system is a little more used to it because we just weren't sure what was coming. We also know everyone kept screaming he's going to do martial law. He didn't do martial law. He didn't use those tanks to take over Washington. The stormtroopers didn't come in and take over our cities, and the crazy stuff I was hearing on here. So we just know they're going to probably be obnoxious with ICE and the police, and we'll see what they do with the other guys. So we know that. But what we have to do, because this is a punch back, we got to punch back harder. We have to keep showing up. Like I've said, we have to keep putting on the pressure. We have to be the tourniquet. Just keep turning it till it stops to what hurts them too much that they have to stop. Because Trump doesn't really care about this. He just wants to hurt us. So we just have to keep putting on that pressure. So more of us need to show up. It has to be all the time. And on the 4th of July, we need to do protests like we did yesterday, but they have to be double. We need this to be so painfully obvious to him that we're not going to stop. We don't care what they send in, who they send in. I don't care if they keep sending them out. We're still going out. Because remember, after a sneeze, he could change his mind. right? He goes in real hard with the tariffs, came in real hard with this stuff like last week, then kind of backed off. Now he's going to throw this out if his polls drop or he gets more bad news from, a billionaire friend. Oh yeah, let's not do that. Plus he's not all there. So we just have to know what we need to do, which is show up, right? We're going to stay calm and we're just going to show up, just like you guys did yesterday. You see that you're not alone now. You see how many are there in number. And I talked to so many people today that were like, I wish I could have been there. I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of people that weren't there yesterday that are going to have to start joining us out in these streets, the ones that can. Because this is time. This is time. And the thing about doing it on the 4th of July is that's what the 4th of July is all about. It's about freedom and fighting for our democracy. And if there was ever a day to do it, it's this 4th of July.
Them MAGA bots are so mad at us for laughing at this parade. I made a video about the squeaky tank. I ain't saying nothing disrespectful or nothing. They like, that's a sermon. You don't understand. That's that damn history that you fucking squeaking on the black. Sorry, I was about to keep going. If it ain't funny, don't come.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you give up every right to talk about wasteful spending, military support, and caring about women when you celebrate a $45 million birthday parade for a draft-dodging rapist.
What brings you here today?
I'm here today because the America that I grew up in is the America I want to remain.
I wouldn't have missed this today. I'm very concerned about the direction the federal government's headed these days. We are definitely headed toward fascism, and I want to be counted as part of the people who do not like the direction that the government is going.
I'm actually here to support all the people that are having their rights unlawfully taken away from them. As a white male, it hasn't touched upon me yet, but I am angry and disturbed.
I'm here so we can protest against fascism. We can't let this dictator and this orange orangutan take over. We have to protect human rights, basic human rights.
Just showing that there are a lot of people who are not okay with what's going on at the federal level right now.
We're fighting for democracy. We're fighting for the Constitution of the United States of America.
It sends a message to people that are that if all of these people care this much to be here in a peaceful way, that's important.
Did y'all see that video going around of that military tank squeaking, the wheels squeaking as it's going down the street at that failed parade for Donald Trump's birthday? I can't tell you how iconic that is. Like, bro really thought he thought he was the mustache man. You thought you was gonna have a whole military celebrating you like you God himself, and you thought the crowd was gonna go wild, and that parade was ass.
Man, that Trump parade was funny as hell. Oh my Lord, I never felt bad for a tank in my life. That tank was squeaking and screaming, saying, "Get me out of here." All the 20 people showed up to that thing. Yo, Fox News tried to pipe in the cheers. like nobody was gonna find out. Ain't nobody was showing up for no goddamn Trump. Nobody cared about that bastard. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, and the news anchors on Fox News, they tried their best again to try to turn shit into wine, and it's just shit. They brought in some drunk lady that couldn't barely articulate herself. Like, she came in with the creepiest fucking smile I ever seen in my life. Man, it just, and it was so wonderful. I'm like, oh Lord, man, yo, she done been hitting that bottle too hard. Whoa. Yo, I swear to God, this was, if you wanted to watch a comedy show, this was it. Like, they didn't draw flies. That was an abandonment that they tried to promote as a crowd. There was nobody there. You could hear the birds. You could hear the crickets. you could see the buzzing. You hear the buzzings of the bees. That parade was trash, and it was funny as hell, and it was well deserved because it couldn't have happened to a worse person.
You know what? I think I figured out why nobody showed up to Trump's parade. Because all of his followers work for ICE now, and they're too busy trying to arrest immigrants. Literally all the Trump loyalists work for ICE now. Like, has he depleted his resources already? Like, that's all he had? Is MAGA tapping out already?
We also want to take this opportunity to thank the real commander-in-chief. It happened to be his birthday today, so whoever want to sing happy birthday to President Trump.
Should we sing happy birthday to President Trump?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, President Trump. Happy birthday to you. And we're gonna celebrate at McDonald's. See here? That's why I have French fries. You see here? Real, made in America. So good.
Wait, are those actual? Can I have one?
Yeah, you can have one. Try it. No ketchup.
They're real fresh.